Hi, I'm Carol Johns from the Small Business Development Center at Hillsborough County, and you're watching the Tampa Bay Community Network.
Hi, I'm Bill Hodges, and this is Spotlight on Government. One of the government outreach programs that I think you're going to find very interesting will be presented by two ladies I have with me today. It's an entrepreneurial collective, and it's really an interesting thing, and I think many of you may even be able to use some of the things that they do. So listen carefully. Lynn, good to have you on the program. Carol, delighted to have you here.
Thanks, Bill, for having us today. We're really excited to be here and excited to let everybody know about all the wonderful services that we do offer. We actually have been in existence for over 14 years, but under a different name. We were the Small Business Information Center of Hillsborough County, and we had a different location. In December, we transitioned to become the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center and are now in a really cool, trendy, state-of-the-art technology building with all sorts of resources for our local entrepreneurs to tap into, whether they're startup or existing. And our center we've created a one-stop shop for the business owners to access all the tools they need, whether it be microfunding through one of our partners or business consulting services through the Small Business Development Center at Hillsborough County, which is what Carol is the director of, and she'll get into that in a little bit. But we're really excited. Our county commission was great. They really pursued this very quickly, made it happen. In less than 2 months, we moved from our old location to this facility, which is located in Ybor City on Palm Avenue between 21st and 22nd Center. We're going by the acronym ECC, which is Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. Our official title is the Mark Sharp Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. One of my favorite guests on this program, longtime guest. And great guy, and did some great things to make this center happen. So we're really excited to launch all of our wonderful programs. Since our inception in December, we've already reached 944 participants at different programs that we've hosted at the center. Really? So we continue to grow and have a lot of great things happening in the future.
And Carol?
And I am the director of the Small Business Development Center at Hillsborough County. And we're in partnership with Hillsborough County who provide entrepreneurial services. So what that means is that we do consulting and we do training, much of it around the county, but we also host a lot of trainings and consulting right there at the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. Okay,
I'm somebody that has an idea. I want to go into business, I think. And there's lots of people out there sitting there thinking, now, yeah, I had this really great idea, but what do I do with it? Who do I go to see first?
Well, you'd come to the Collaborative Center, or you would call us, and what we would suggest to you is that you come to one of our many startup business discussions. So we have a discussion group that meets every Monday and every Friday, Monday afternoon, Friday mornings, for an hour, just so that you can get those questions answered for yourself. Then, once you get the initial questions answered, we would refer you to a workshop. And you would attend one of our workshops that would walk you through all the steps of starting your own business. There are many workshops. We did over 200 workshops, about 285 workshops last year. So there's many workshops. So there's business planning, where you could learn how to do your business plan, where you could actually do your business plan, not just learn how to do it. Marketing, what considerations you should have in marketing. You should be looking at who your target market is and understand who your competition is as well. We have all types of workshops that will help you along that process.
And you have a background in finance, and I suppose that's one of the biggest things, right?
Oh, definitely. Everybody's looking for capital, which is unfortunately very difficult for them to tap into. But with Carol's guidance and her team's guidance, she can get them prepared to be bankable.
I saw something recently, these groups where you put money into them to help entrepreneurs.
Crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
Yes.
It's a huge
is
trend.
There anything that you do with this or similar to this?
Actually, one of our partners, Next, is a partner of the ECC. And is it okay if I refer to it as ECC, everybody?
Sure.
Okay, a lot easier.
Yes,
It's a
it is,
mouthful.
it
Next and Ned Pope.
Entrepreneurial by itself is a word.
It is a mouthful. But we do have partners that are in the community, as well as some partners who have a satellite location within the ECC. But one of our partners is Next, and they oversee the crowdfunding.
Oh.
They are the ones that actually did the crowdfunding for Tampa Bay. And it happens annually, and nonprofits have the opportunity to be funded by the community. And that happens one time a year, but he also oversees a lot of the different crowdfunding festivals and such that you see in the state of Florida. And then Carol can elaborate if you have other crowdfunding sources.
We actually lead people to crowdfunding. We actually work more with a participant to go to a bank.
Which is your expertise.
Which is my expertise. A bank or a microloan program that's within the city usually fits their needs. And if there's a difficult project, not necessarily all crowdfunding projects are difficult, but if there's more hair on it, if you will, than we can handle to get done, then crowdfunding might be an option. So we consider all options for a business. We look at what they're doing, what type of funding they need, how much money they have, and that's how we decide where they're going to go for their financing.
From what I've read, and I've been an entrepreneur myself for the past 35 years, I haven't drawn a paycheck from anyone besides what I could garner up myself. And one of the things I've saw over those years is that a lot of people try to go into business without that background, without that knowledge, and certainly without enough capital.
Right, that's
the number one thing that I guess the number one is financial considerations. Number two is the misunderstanding of managing a business. They just think they can, because I know how to make a widget, I can open and do this. And some people do that, but many of them won't succeed if they haven't planned it or if they don't have money. Many people look for money without having their own money to put into the transaction. And so it's so difficult to start a business.
I guess Shark Tank is really a lot of people watching that show.
That's right.
And we've had a lot of locals on that show, and we've actually had several.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
we've had several clients that have gone on that show, and it's been interesting. And a lot of them do it for
I guess
publicity.
it would be if you knew somebody,
Yeah,
especially it was on
We've
it.
had several, so it's very. And we actually do have a mini version of a Shark Tank that happens every week at the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center.
Really?
And it's 1 million cups. And I don't know if you want me to go ahead and get that now,
please.
because there's an opportunity for some possible funding for a startup with a great idea. And as one of my fellow committee members will say, Peter Vaca, we're going to have the next big thing come out of this center. And what 1 Million Cups is, it's a national organization that's funded by the Kauffman Foundation. And we are number 69 in the city of Tampa, or Hillsborough County. There's also a location in St. Pete. They have a chapter as well. And every single Wednesday nationally, starting at 8 a.m., we have a networking session from 8 to 9 a.m. And then at 9 a.m., we start the business pitches. The business owners have, or somebody with just a business concept, has exactly 6 minutes. We time them 6 minutes to present their concept or what's the next big thing in their business to grow that business to the next level. And then we have 20 minutes of audience participation. And this is where they can get the bite, where people ask them challenging questions. Well, you say you have no competition. How are you going to find out who your competition is? So we'll challenge them, as well as identify resources within that audience that can consist of fellow business owners and entrepreneurs, community leaders, investors, bankers, and a lot of youth have been participating in 1 Million Cups as well and observing. So it's been a great opportunity. We're only in our 6th week and we're already doing awesome. We're averaging about 62, 70 attendees each week.
Wow, that's a good turnout.
That's a good turnout.
And every week it's 2 presenters, and our pipeline's getting pretty full of presenters. And we go through an approval process, and then they get to come up and do their pitch. In addition to doing that pitch, we do provide them some coaching prior to that to make sure they're ready for what type of questions.
That was going to be another question. A lot of people, I'm working with a young man right now, and he is really bright. He's extremely good at what he does. He's an electrical engineer. He's really dedicated, but his speaking skills are not quite there. He recognized that, and he and I are working together to help him make those presentations. What do you do to help these people? A lot of people are scared to death to be discussed in front of a group whatever their passion is.
Well, I can approach it from the 1 Million Cups angle, and then Carol can
Sure.
approach it as they are maybe
Consultant.
approaching a banker or somebody, how they prepare them. We actually have several presenters who come up, have no idea what to talk about. They've got this great PowerPoint, but they don't know how to touch on the, the correct things of what kind of community impact are we going to have, what is unique about my product, who are my competitors, who is my target audience. And it's amazing what we've done watching them start and what they do as a final presentation. But we'll even address if they say too much.
So they
We'll
get
tell them
coaching along the way?
they're getting coaching, and if it takes more than one time to coach them through that presentation, we'll coach them 3 times, because we want to make sure they're completely prepared before they go up in front of the sharks and have that opportunity to understand what kind of questions they might face.
Within your group, do you have an umbrella that covers other organizations like Toastmasters, which would seem to me to be a wonderful opportunity for a Toastmasters club for these entrepreneurs?
That's a great idea. That is not one that we've actually reached out to,
Never thought of it.
but definitely something we'll add to our checklist. So
I
glad
can
we're here
promise you
to
that
learn from you as
Once the
well.
show's on the air, somebody will contact you about it, because
Great.
the district's always, I've been a Toastmaster going into my 36th year. And it started all my businesses, being able to go in, learn to make a good presentation, be able to help others. And of course, you learn a lot by teaching.
We offer so many workshops, and our consultants, there are 4 of us now, because I've just recently added 2 more. 4 consultants and myself, and we teach a number of workshops, and that helps us with our public speaking, which allows us to also help our businesses when they come to us. We try to make sure they're educated about their business. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time when businesses can't discuss their businesses because they don't understand how to present it or what to talk about.
Exactly.
So we help them to know what their important points are, what their values are, their value proposition is, so that they can present that.
The sad part is, and it's something that's really hard for everybody to get over, is they walk out in front of the audience and they're thinking, what are they thinking about me?
Yes.
Instead of thinking, what can I do for them? And if they can change that dynamic, all of a sudden, everything falls away.
And that's absolutely what we
That's a great
teach. It is
mindset.
not about what you can do for someone, but what do they need from you. And that's what you want to make sure you're focusing on.
Needs are important, but wants are even better.
Yes.
Definitely.
I learned in sales years ago that selling something that they need is not near as important as selling them something as what they want.
Well, you can make
And
them think they
creating the
need
want.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Creating the want.
Yes.
What.
That's
That's
exactly
what
right.
it's
That
all
all
about.
the
That's exactly
time.
right.
That's all marketing, right?
It's all marketing.
You
My,
must have
my
this.
wife is a wonderful shopper, and fortunately, she's a catch and release. She loves to go buy it and then take it back. But I watch the bait that all these stores dangle out there with the Kohl's Bucks and things of that
Oh,
nature
yes.
to draw them in. What do you need out there? I don't know, but I got to go with these Kohl
Because
Bucks.
it's a
and look.
sale.
And I understand it, I really do, because the marketers are doing a great job. And
Yes.
nothing has value until you can prove it can be sold. Is that correct?
That's correct.
If nobody's willing to buy it, forget it.
That's exactly right.
And a big value now to the community is they like to support their local small businesses. We're seeing a huge trend because of the way the economy was, and now that it's coming back, we're seeing more people with great ideas more than ever. A lot of startups with this great idea, they never know if it's going to work out or not, and that's what our consultants do, is identify if it's a great concept or not. And there's a lot of times that we may talk people out of starting their business because their great idea, we've already talked to 6 other people with that same great idea.
Right.
So, that's an opportunity for us as well, as to let them know, your idea is not so great, or it's not time for that yet. And that's something with 1 Million Cups as well.
The question is, how unique is it?
Well,
There can be other people who have that idea, but is their idea
What's their niche?
a different
what
twist?
their niche is
Yeah.
to it. That's important, because we don't really try to talk people out of their business. We want to help them to do the research that they decide that it's not a good idea for them to do it. Because what we like to remember is that there was a rock that became very popular. People bought the rock.
Gary Dull.
Yeah, and so it's not up to us to say this will work or not, but we have to give you all of the dynamics that you need to think about.
$5 million in 3 months.
With a rock.
With a
Wow,
rock.
I need a rock.
Selling people a rock.
Yes,
I mean, it's one of the great marketing
that's
stories.
correct. And the cheetah pet is still on the
Oh.
market. Who knows why? You know what that is, right?
The
Yeah.
chia
That's
pet?
that hairy.
Oh, yeah, the plant
The
thing.
plant thing, yeah.
Well, they had
I've
them
often
with,
thought they had to do the same thing for hair. I could use a little,
you don't mind green?
well, I can always dye it. The rest of it
Right,
gets that
Or you can
color.
grow it and let it dye itself. It'll turn brown, right?
So if I have an idea, let's go step by step how we're going to work that idea. Who do I call? Do I call you, or do I call you, or do I call both of you?
Well, you call the center, and the center is going to direct you to us, the Small Business Development Center at Hillsborough County.
Okay.
And it depends,
and that number
again.
we'll have on the screen.
That number will be on, on your screen, and it will tell you, we will tell you what you need to consider first. Your skill sets, licensing. Come to us to talk about what type of the structure for
Because
your
I may
business.
not even know that, though.
You may not know any of
I've
those
got
things.
an idea, but I don't really
Yeah.
know it requires a license to go do
Right.
it.
That's why you come to the workshops, because the workshop is going to tell you what you need to open a business here.
And those are regular.
They're regular.
And
We-
they cover different subjects each time.
They cover, well, that particular one, startup one, is always going to talk about startup because people are always waking up and deciding to go into
So
business.
if I attend one of those, is that enough, or should
No.
I come back and attend
no.
several
You
of
need
them?
a business plan workshop, you need the
Well, no,
marketing.
I mean, there is then a series of these classes. The first one I come to is an overview.
Smart Start Your Business, yes.
Okay, that's an overview.
Yes.
And when I walk out of there, what can I expect to walk out of there knowing?
How to start your business, what licensing is needed, what different structures of a business are. The fact that you should consider particular licensing. You might need a license to do childcare, or electrician needs a particular license, things like that. You may have to talk about all those, consider all those types of licenses. And when you leave from there, you'll know you'll need a business plan. You know you need to understand your market. So you'll know all the basics about starting a business.
And how long is that class?
2 hours.
And I'm going to get all of that in 2 hours. Probably need to come back more than once.
You
right?
do need to come back. You do need to
I
come
mean,
back.
seriously,
No,
people,
really.
A
people
workshop
are
groupie, we love
instant
those.
everything today. But listen, if you're going to put your life on the line, which you do if you go into business, wouldn't it be well to go take that class twice, or maybe 3 times? Take notes, go back and ask the instructor questions. I assume there's a question and answer time.
That's exactly right.
Take it home and share it with the people around you. They have to get this license. If you're talking to your husband or wife, saying, you know, I may have to go to school here, it's going to take a little more
Exactly right.
house caring time on your part, right? Family time, going away because I got to go to school. So all those things are important
Yes.
when they come out of that first session. So if you only go to it once, I'm sure it's powerful and I'm sure it's great, but I think you'll find more by going back a couple of times.
That's not a bad idea. We don't have many people who do that because they're so
They
excited,
get excited.
and they want to
Run and
move
do
forward,
everything.
you know, and so.
That's the instant of our society.
that's right.
Everything is instant communications,
Instant.
Yep.
instant knowledge, but you know, you really have to put a little time. If you're going into business, I don't know what the statistics are now, but most businesses fail.
They most
It's-
of them fail
it's a
within the
sad
first
thing.
couple of years.
Yeah.
They fail.
And
85%,
people lose their
Yes,
homes, they lose a
85%.
lot of time, they lose credibility, a lot of things, because they didn't build a solid foundation.
Very true. And the other thing, the other side of what we do a lot with startup businesses. Absolutely do a lot with startup businesses. However, the other side of what we do is that people don't know is that we help existing businesses. And so we help them keep their cash by using experts that they may otherwise have had to hire.
Okay.
And we're all, you know, certified business consultant. We all have a minimum of a master's degree, you know, and we specialize in different areas. So we have a food specialist, and you have a financial specialist, and you have a marketing specialist. So you can go through different consultants to get everything you need to grow your business beyond starting it. So we have a particular product that we call our acceleration program that we offer to existing businesses, and that product is for businesses who have been in business at least 5 years, $1 million in sales, and a minimum of 5 employees. We'll do a complete assessment for you,
Oh,
written
wow.
assessment, to let
Oh,
you know
wonderful.
what you need to grow your business over the next 3 to 5 years. So we're helping people to grow their business because they get to a point where they're just going along. And we want to help them grow to the next level.
Fantastic. I'm still trying to get.
I was going to address that because you asked the question: who they call? Did they call Carol or did they call Lynn? Carol is.
I think everybody will want to.
I'll clarify that for you so you have a clear understanding.
I know you're going like this.
We work very, very closely together, and we consult with each other all the time so that we can have an effective program and do the great things that we do for the community and for the businesses out in the community. Carol oversees the entrepreneurial services. She's the manager of entrepreneurial services as well as the director for the Small Business Development Center at Hillsborough County. My role at the center is I'm manager of operations. And my role, I'm dealing primarily with startups, and that's because we host programs and events that are primarily geared towards that startup community. The 1 Million Cups program that takes place every Wednesday is businesses that have been in existence for 3 years or less, or just have a basic business idea. In addition, we've been part of Startup Week, which was hosted and sponsored by Hillsborough County's EDI2 program. We have also, in addition to that, Startup Grind, they did a live stream of their global conference out of California. So we've reached out to a lot of the technology businesses as well. We have some great programs coming in the future that I'm really excited about. One of them I finalized this morning. We have a youth entrepreneur program. We've reached out to the middle and high school students in Hillsborough County and are having a program that's going to be called Half a Cup. Really? And they're going to be training with professors from Hillsborough Community College who serve on the committee for 1 Million Cups, Dr. Andy Gold and Beth Curley. They're meeting with the middle school students and even younger. We had the Harmon STEM School at 1 Million Cups yesterday observing, and then Hillsborough Virtual School. So these children are now being exposed to the entrepreneurial services and programs that are available at a young age so they know where to go. Because we've had a problem in the past where you may not know where to go if you have this great idea or great invention. We have a young man, 17-year-old junior in high school, part of the Hillsborough Virtual Program, who already has an invention with a patent protected for 18 years.
Wow.
And he'll be presenting his prototype at 1 Million Cup, or Half a Cup, and then 1 Million Cups in the future in April. And then we have another gentleman, also 17 years of age, who has a foundation already established. So we're reaching our young entrepreneurs so they know where to go in the future and have that next great idea. And then once they're in business 3 years and they're at that point Carol talked about, where do they go next? Now they can reach out to Carol and her team. In addition, not only the programs and events that we host at the center, we have our partners who are on site. Some use the location as a satellite facility, and others out in the community. And our partners include the SBA, the Small Business Administration.
I was going to ask you whether there was any SBA support here.
Very much
Seemed
so.
like a crossover.
They are a satellite, they use our facility as a satellite location, and they host workshops there as well. We also have the Hispanic Business Initiative Fund, who see a lot of the startup clients, not just Hispanic startup clients, but they can see any startup client. And they have their great grant program that's available to the Hispanic-run businesses. We also, like I mentioned, the crowdfunding organization, the Arts Council of Hillsborough County. Last night, we had the Sunscreen Film Festival Committee there with all their film producers who are all locally owned small business film producers critiquing each other.
Let me jump in there.
Oh, yeah, that might be.
Many of those young people got their training right here.
Oh, that's awesome.
In Tampa Bay Community Network. We have green screens, we have all of the different professionals here that provide training.
Wow,
so
you have wonderful programs.
You'd be amazed at how many of the people here, even if they're in the film school up at USF or wherever, they still come here to get that training.
That's great. That's a great resource as well. So
just thought I'd drop that little bit of a
Maybe you need to have a satellite.
Very good.
Maybe you need a satellite with us as well. But that kind of lets you know I work on partnerships and different programs and events at the center where Carol has the certified business consultants. Am I using the right?
You're absolutely using
to
it
meet with the
correctly,
clients and guide them in the right direction.
Exactly right.
Okay, there
Does
is
that help?
no charge for no. That's great.
Okay.
It's so powerful. I don't know that 30 minutes is going to be enough.
I know. Can we have 30 more?
But what I want to be sure that everybody understands, there is no fee for any of
Oh
this.
yes,
Is
there
that
is
correct?
no fee.
Huge advantage for Hillsborough County businesses. This is for Hillsborough County businesses. You have to be located in Hillsborough County, and no, there's never a charge. We are looking in the fall at doing some more progressive workshops that may have a small charge on them, but right now there is no charge for our workshops or for our consulting services, which is a huge savings. For example, that accelerated report I was telling you about, the accelerator program, that's about a $67,000 value for all the work that's going in, the research and the written and going back and forth. There's a lot of work that goes into that. But we love what we do, and we give every businesses as if they paid us, and they do.
You know, the interesting thing, folks, is you look at this. If you brought me in as a trainer, it would cost you a lot of money in a corporation because that's what I'm set up to do. And here, those that don't have those kind of resources still get quality training, correct?
Exactly right, exactly right. And consulting, yes. One-on-one consulting. We come to the business or they can come to us.
Oh, you will come out?
Oh, we go out to the businesses, oh, absolutely. We spend probably 90% of our time in the communities, at businesses, and working very closely with the chambers. The Chamber of Commerce across Hillsborough County do a great work with businesses, connecting them, and we're there as well to let them know that our services are available to them as well.
You know, we talked about young people and the outreach you have to them, but what about seniors?
Oh, I see a lot of seniors because, you know, I have folks who come and say, you know, I'm retiring from my job and I want to start a business. And I say to them, and I say in the back of my mind, I'm saying, why? And I say, you do? You know, and then we talk.
Keep the mind moving.
Yes, we'll help them to do the proper feasibility because I really want to make sure that they're not taking their funds out of a program and just throwing it out there because they think they know what to do. And so we help lead and guide you through the right process so you can make the decision before you spend the money.
You know, as I said, I lived out in Sun City Center, and there's so much intelligence out there. Has that been tapped? Is there anybody going out there to get some of that intelligence and bring them into the program? Do you use volunteers?
And actually, we do have a great partner with SCORE, which is a Service Corps of Retired Executives. They actually use our location as their permanent location to provide business consulting as well as workshops. And they do have a mentor program and volunteer program. And I'm sure if somebody is interested in volunteering and they're one of those been there, done that, and have all those great experiences to share with the other business owners or the ones thinking about it, that's definitely a great organization to reach out to. And
okay, so they have to go to SCORE.
They can call our center.
And then we can refer them directly
Right
to
to
SCORE,
SCORE.
which is on site with us.
That's
Great. You two have given me so much to think about. And if you're thinking about going into a business and you don't contact them, you're the loser. Because this is a free program, and there's not that many free lunches out there, folks.
That's right, that's right.
Lynn and Carol, thank you so much for being with us on Spotlight on Government.
Thank you.
I
Thank
see
you
my
for
government
having us.
dollars being used very well in programs like this.
Yes, your tax dollars at work, for sure.
I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're unique, you're special, and you're great. Tell yourself so often because you are, you know, and we'll see you on the next Spotlight on Government. And again, Lynn and Carol, thanks for being with us, and please come back.